What's up, guys? Sam Taggart here with Door-to-Door Khan and DDD Experts. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about, this is a controversial topic. I'm just going to call that straight out because I'm going to talk about how to become a dealer or a business owner, when it's the right time and how to do it. Now, a lot of you guys watching this, you probably ask yourself oh, maybe I should just start my own roofing company, start my own solar company, start my own whatever. My first piece of advice is really ask yourself, do you want to do that? Because I watch a lot of guys go down this path and literally make so much less money than they were at their current company. And then I watch some guys go down this path and make a hell of a lot more money than where they were at. So there's both sides of the story. So I don't want to just talk to one side, I'm going to talk to both sides. Because the reality is there's a book called the EMyth, which is this entrepreneurial myth. As salespeople, we tend to be a lot more overambitious than we really are. And sometimes on a spreadsheet, we are automatic millionaires according to some of the pricing and payouts that there are in, pest, solar, alarm, satellite, roofing, kind of owning your own business, right? So, when I broke off and ran and I recruited dealers and I've done a lot of this kind of stuff, what hit me in the nuts that was harder than anything else was I realized I'm a visionary, I'm a mover. But I was missing certain pieces of the business, like the manager, the technician, certain aspects that take really running a company. And sometimes a guy that's a technician who likes to tinker, that likes to, I'm not saying a technician as far as spraying or installing an alarm. I'm talking your personality type is one that likes to tinker. You're the one that likes to kind of mechanical, fix things and put things in order and things like that. But the reality is if you're missing the sales engine and you're missing the creative mind of the brain, you're gonna end up tinkering on this business and not driving any revenue. So you're gonna end up sitting there with a great website and some business cards and some nice shirts and no sales. And the manager's okay, I'm gonna manage, I'm gonna have this, but they've not created any of the website and the processes and finance departments and the fulfillment and and all the pieces that go to a business. And then the visionary and the entrepreneur guy is all the hype in the world, but then he goes out and sells all these deals and doesn't realize he's got to fulfill on them. He's got to have a back end, a process, and he's got to hire an admin. And so now you hire an admin that's 60 grand a year, and it's oh, that comes out of my check. And then you got to hire a finance team, and then you got to pay for legal contracts, and then you got to pay for this and this and this and this and this. And you're oh, on a spreadsheet, I didn't calculate all the things that go into a business. So my one thing is, ask yourself first before you start your own dealer or run that route, are you just on a spreadsheet not really calculating shirts and swag and incentives and you're looking and you're overlooking all the things that your current company does for you? Competitions and prizes and technology. Just to sign up for a CRM costs you hundreds of dollars a month. Training platforms, things like that. It is expensive, but those that are the right fit, that have proven themselves, built up enough cash reserve to go weather a storm. If they were to say, I've interviewed hundreds of people and some of the best business owners in this business, so I've got to pick the brains. I've consulted over 100 companies and I've got to lift up the hood, and I've seen awesome ones and I've seen ones falling apart. And what I found is those that are willing to say, I'm not in it for the money initially, meaning you'll make more money being a salesperson at your own company. When you own your own company, you would have made a lot more money just being the sales rep. But if you can think long-term, not short-term, it's a great avenue. Where a lot of salespeople with their ADD brains run into a problem. They run into, I want quick money, and that's why they start their business, is because they think, oh, I'm gonna get paid more running my own dealer and I'll have a bigger piece of this pie. But what they fail to realize is when they're wearing every hat, they're not selling, they're wearing every other hat. Therefore, their production goes way down. And so you then have to find out how to hire and manage and outsource, which costs money. And now you can get into the selling role, but there's a trade-off there. And when you can structure, organize, build that side of things to replace the sale or the operations that you left at your old company, this is a magic sauce. This is where people win. This is where guys thrive and they make a lot of money. But they don't realize that it takes a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they don't have the patience to go put in it. And 6 months in, they realize they're broke. On a spreadsheet, they were supposed to be a millionaire, and they really weren't. So ask yourself, am I really weathering the storm? Am I open? Do I have enough reserve? Or am I a broke sales dude that just wants more of the pie and I'm gonna go start a business? That's not for you. I'm just gonna be honest. So the people that win are the ones that are ready to weather that storm. And how you do it is there's two ways. Either you can go be a dealer, meaning there's a lot of fulfillment companies, meaning there's a EPC company in solar that'll do your installs, proposals, engineerings, and all of that. And you be the sales and marketing arm. You can do that in pest control. You can do that in satellite. You go sign up with AT&T and say, I want to be a dealer in sales, like in sales and marketing arm, and they'll do a lot of the operation stuff for you. You still have operation issues that you're gonna have to deal with wherever you go, but they try to take a lot of the load off. And the other route is you do everything start to finish. I just got off the phone with a pest control owner. He literally is a two-man shop where he sells it, he goes to the truck, he pulls up and he sprays it right then and there. You know what I mean? Like he's playing both sides, fulfilling it and doing the actual selling. So, you know, there's a little bit more upside because yeah, he doesn't have to sub it out and pay these guys. He gets to keep all the cream there. But the reality is like, could have he been selling more had he not been spraying and taking the time it took to fulfill his own stuff? So just asking, the two routes would be, I'm gonna run my own and do all the fulfillment, or most industries have some type of fulfillment kind of groups. They're gonna do that for you. You just act as the sales and marketing arm. So that's kind of the two takes. And make sure, here's the point. A lot of people think sales should make all the money and this and that. They overlook the overhead costs it takes to run a business. So don't get super greedy. Don't be like, I need this pricing, or no matter what, if I'm gonna open up a dealer, like you're screwing me. It's like, guys, what happens is if they're giving you such a low price point and they're giving you all the farm, what you gotta be red flag would be, man, they don't even have skin on the bone to actually operate their business how they need to. So my jobs don't get fulfilled like they should. Now you look bad to customer because they're getting crappy service because you're not giving them enough meat on the bone to operate the fulfillment side. So don't get too greedy. Be somebody that's like, hey, I understand there's costs and overhead running a business, and you'll get a kick to the nuts, I promise. But the reality is it's a fun and rocky road, but it's a journey. Enjoy the journey. It's fun starting your own business and creating. That's like a fun thing. But just know what you're getting into, like eyes open, before you're like, screw these companies, they're taking all my money. I made them $1 million this year. And I'm like, you didn't make them $1 million. Maybe you brought in a revenue of $1 million, but you didn't account for all the little things that goes into running that business. So just keep that in mind. So hopefully, you know, obviously I'm here to help, like reach out, like we're here to support you when you're even making a transition. At one point, there's a point where people need to graduate. That's the thing. If you're a manager and a guy left you to go run a dealer or open up his own thing, sometimes that just happens. Be okay with that. Like be willing to say like, it's his time to fly. You know what I mean? I couldn't be the leader that he needed to be. Like that situations happen all the time in this industry. Just realize that's a natural progression. And some guys are better fit as the manager in a company. And that's like, they're gonna make way more money doing that than ever running their own company. Some guys are better fit being this role in a company, and they don't need, they would be in a way worse off position being an entrepreneur. Just ask yourself what fit and be real with yourself. Don't be like, I idolize those people, so I should do that. Be real with yourself and say, what is your actual personality? What is your skill sets? And then make the decision based on that. So here to help, reach out, follow the podcast. Like I said, I've interviewed on the DDD podcast, I've interviewed some bad A business entrepreneurs that have run massive multi-million dollar and billion-dollar type organizations. So here to support, reach out, follow the YouTube channel, DDD Experts, follow the podcast, follow the Facebook group, the DDD Tribe, and make sure to come out to our event at DDD Con. You can register at dddcon.com, but here to help.